Hey guys, so surprise, this is our first video in our new test space. Some of you frequent viewers, what'd you say, Pete?
First fan of the night.
First fan of the night.
Yes.
First fan of new test space.
Metal barn.
Metal barn. Frequent viewers may recognize this as the bay area of the barn. Let's just say there's some shenanigans underfoot that involve more of the barn. And that's all we're gonna say on camera until, you never jinx things. But we are able to test fans here now. Let's just leave it at that. And so I think the inaugural fan for the bay test area, first of all, you gotta do a commercial fan. And it's hard pressed to find a cooler commercial fan than a Dayton Lasko. Would you guys agree?
Oh yeah.
That's up there.
Yeah, and this right here, just seeing it up this high is just like my childhood where I saw them.
By the way, we're all sitting around a table like we're the judges of like a figure skating competition, which is. Can one of you get a picture of this? I guess how do we do that when
We'll have to.
like set your phone on the ladder and then like time it? I guess. I don't know how to do it, but
It does kind of look like.
it looks like we should hold up numbers. You know what? One day in the future, we're gonna do videos with two cameras, and one camera will be on the fan, one camera will be on us, and we'll have to hold up scores.
Dan has like a spiffy score. He has a metal score. I have like a wood grain score.
Yeah.
Belay's score.
Yeah, it'll. So we'll do that in the future. But for now, Dayton Lasko on the new metal test rig. Anything else? You guys want to say?
Oh, just the way it looks up this high, it's reminds me exactly of the store I saw these
As
at.
God intended.
Yes.
Yeah, I first saw one of these. It's hard to gauge because I saw several of these as a kid. I think the first one I actually saw was a Sanyo 3-blade in a gas station, but I was like 3, so it's really hard to remember. There was a theater in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin that I had cousins that lived there, and they would put on plays at this theater. And they had 2 originals over the main seating area, 2 4-blade brown Pro lines in the basement dressing area, like where the actors would get ready, and then they had one of these in the balcony. And I loved going to that theater for a whole bunch of reasons. First of all, it was a 100-year-old historic theater, so already cool.
All right, cool.
Second of all, I've always loved, you guys know I love show business, whether it's music or plays or theater or movies or church. Even church I consider part of show business. I know that's sacrilegious to some people, but you're putting on a production. So just that, but then the combination of all that and 3 different types of cool fans in the same space, and then across the street was an ice cream parlor that was loaded with Caribbean breezes. So it was just a great experience overall. But this was my favorite of the fans in the theater, and I always tried to figure out how it worked. Because it would shut on and off randomly during the plays, and I think it was on and off with the HVAC. But I asked somebody once, and they're like, "Oh, they got a string for it in the lighting booth." And I'm like, "I don't think there's another string." So unfortunately, I did look for some pictures of that old theater on like LoopNet or whatever. The property's been sold, and it's not a theater anymore, and the originals aren't there anymore. Don't think the Dayton Lasko's there, but it's hard to say. Other thing about this one is the canopies are left exactly as we found it. You'll notice they're upside down. The lower canopy is on the top and the upper canopy is on the bottom. We didn't change it. We left it how it came to us, and I think it's kind of cool that way. If I was going to install it permanently, I'd flip them around, but it's like the low-speed trim, where I like to do a video showing how we found it, and then, before we permanently install it, we make it right. So,
I honestly didn't even notice that until you said that, but yeah, I see it.
If it was on a normal length test ceiling, you would notice, but on this ceiling, it's very hard to see. I don't even know how well it's shown up in the camera, which is Jenna Maroney.
So Dayton Laskos it was one of those things I saw on exactly one location my whole childhood, but I saw them every single year. It was at Indiana Beach. There was this upstairs like kind of sky deck bar thing that had, I think, 4 or 5 of these maybe, and they pretty much just this exact version, except it had was the later one where it had a ball socket and the more like pointy upper or lower canopy. But otherwise it was the same, and for the longest time I had no idea what those were. I thought they were cool looking. And then until I got into collecting it, I learned what they actually were, and unfortunately those fans are removed in the mid-2010s. Though there are still 2 brown ones over the stage to this day. So.
And if you guys want to see pictures of that, they're in one of my slideshows. Do you know which slideshow number? I know you've watched it.
I have to check that. Okay. I don't know offhand.
If Rick finds it, we'll pin that in the comments of this video. It's also in Dan's Baby Newman Ceiling Fans on Facebook.
It's a pretty cool install, and turned out to have blender fans in the back.
Absolutely, K63 blender fans at that. Pete talked about in the last video where he saw these as a kid, so I think we've done enough talking for Pete.
All right.
Pete likes to get into it. Okay, let's go ahead. Set to low.
Yep.
And this one did not need any bearing TLC. I haven't been up there, but Pete has, and he said he didn't hear anything.
Yep.
The bearings in these usually are surprisingly good despite how crappy the fans are. It's common to find them not needing bearing TLC.
They only have one bearing.
Only one bearing.
Yeah, on the top, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I mean, they're a terrible design, but they're cool.
They're just, yeah, they're...
That's why, I went with Reese to that Ace Hardware in West Bend, and he asked me, he sees the setting to 1, but not going, and they're hooked up to the lights, too.
Yeah, well, there's any number of things to go wrong. Well, who wants to do the honors? Rick, I think you should.
Yeah.
Try fan stick.
Where's
Right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, this video has a sponsor.
Before he goes up there, let's do watts and power.
And the tack. Can we do the tack from this level?
Suppose we'll find out.
Yeah.
Or if the ladder, you could probably reach up and...
yeah, I think we should, at some point, we'll bring the blue ladder out too, possibly, but yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Rick's the tack master.
Yeah, let's try that.
Can you get up there?
I'm going to try from here.
Try from the ground, yeah.
See if it even registers. Not really.
Okay, just climb up a little bit on the ladder. Just...
This is going pretty fast for low.
Yeah, it is.
These aren't always fast on low.
There we go. I'm getting 354.
That seems about right, because the last one was, I think, 75.
88.
Yeah, so this is a little faster than the other one.
Okay, so amps.
Yeah, put it back to amps.
Or watts. 30, about 39 watts. And already a power factor of 1.
Yeah, these are coil taps because everything about it is cheap. Okay, well, time for our sponsor.
Fan stick.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Fan stick.
It's fan stick.
That's right.
It's not in frame yet.
Oh.
There we go, now
Fan
it's in
stick?
frame. Fan stick.
Yes, he'll buy fan stick.
Buy fan stick. That's our slogan.
Purchase things. We are not saying goodbye to things.
No, we would never. Full chain extensions are overrated.
Yeah. Okay, there's speed 2, which is medium. I never knew until actually seeing one of these up close that they had that speed indicator.
Same. I never noticed that as a kid.
I didn't know what that was. Yeah.
I don't think I noticed it until I didn't know anything about these until I bought this on eBay, and I spent a ton on eBay for it for a middle schooler or high schooler or whatever I was. It was probably like $100 with shipping, and that's when I learned that it has a Dayton label on it. That's when I learned they were Dayton, and good airflow surprisingly.
Oh yeah.
This is
59
a great environment to
watts.
test 56-inch fans too.
Absolutely.
Still power factor 1.
We could even do. I was telling Pete we could even do big ass fans here.
You could. Yeah.
Because I've got a few requests from companies that wanted to send me them, and I'm like, we just don't have a big enough test space.
Right.
But now we do. I know big ass fans aren't usually metal, but every so often, I mean, right height ones I think are pretty metal.
Yeah.
581.
Okay, 581. That's
140?
Yeah, 145.
Okay. I'm getting pretty good with the math in my head.
Yeah.
I say that, and I'm going to screw the next one up royally. Did you do the?
Yeah, I
doodly
did.
doos? Okay.
Alright.
Time for our
Still-
sponsor.
Yep.
Yes.
And we got a few of these to test, so that'll be great because we can really. The only downside to this is if a fan does not have a dongle, we'll have to add a dongle.
Yeah. I'm not there.
Nope.
There
Is that the canopy scraping?
It sounds more like a vibration.
Could be. Again, they are not
Yeah.
the best fans.
So 0.8.
Well, that's less than the other one.
Oh, 7.9.
The other one was, I think, 8.4 topped out at.
Pushing something. I mean.
Oh no, they moved decent air. We discovered that on our last test video of these.
Yeah.
We were pleasantly surprised at how much air they moved. And Rick, do you want to guess the RPM? Pete and I, we have an idea because we just tested one of these.
I'm gonna say like 190.
Okay.
Like so a little under 200, I guess.
Okay. Pete, what did we guess on the last one? Or do you want to guess a different thing on this one? Did you think this one's different than the last one? You think it's different than the last one? Let's just say
Not
that, yes
much.
or no. Okay, not much different than the last one. So if you guys watched the last video.
Around 200.
No,
range.
don't give it away. Okay.
Oh, I already guessed.
Yeah. The last one was right at the 200-ish range. Like, I think it was 204, 205. What'd you say?
828.
So it is over 200.
Over, yeah.
Yep, 207. So let me do watts.
Just over. This one's actually a little
79
faster than the other one. It
watts.
doesn't look faster.
And again, the power factor drops on
On
high.
high, yeah.
It's probably deceiving just because of
The height?
Yeah, but yeah, we're farther away from it.
Okay.
Well, if you want to try pointing the laser at the beam, that's like right above it, the one I mounted the fan on.
Oh, well, I mean,
That's a good point. That'll probably help.
that's really
Because the reflective ceiling is probably part of the problem when you go up to the roof.
See, we could actually install reflective tape on that bar. I mean, maybe that would actually make it work.
I think that would make it worse. You want your ceiling to not be reflective, and you want your blades to be reflective.
Blades to be reflective,
Yeah. So the problem we're facing here is that the ceiling is reflective, unless you happen. Well, if you tilt it a little more so that it's on the wood up there. Yeah, right there. That'll probably be your. Well, no.
Can't read it though.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm getting 410. No, 819.
Yeah, it's about the same as before.
Okay, yeah, so that's alright.
Okay, ready for spin down.
Now this is these have a very long spin down with the
They
heavy
do.
steel blades, and so if you guys want to go and get we could go to get snacks from the gas station or something like that and come back. It's a quick trip not far from here.
I need to bring the Malaysia heat fan that I brought there. I need to test
That's
them.
true. Oh, by the way, before
I brought something you will like to test.
Okay.
that's true. I might stick around for that if we have depending on how late it is when we're done with these four.
Yeah.
You see, just before I forget, this has nothing to do with the video. You see those boxes right there next to you?
I do.
Those are the leftover shelves from my garage. I bought them for the underground storage. And if they're the right height, then Pete's gonna use them upstairs for blades.
Okay.
And if they're not the right height, then they go back to my garage and we use them for my garage.
Okay.
But that's one of the things that needs to be on tonight's list, but can happen after I'm gone.
Right. So we'll see if it fits.
Yeah, and there's 3 of them, and one of them is upstairs already.
Okay.
So I
I
think,
just brought one up.
yeah,
Let's see.
if the package is correct, they're 72 inches. So we just have to see if 72 inches clear is where Pete wants to put them.
Okay.
But sometimes the package is not. And also, that might be with wheels, and we don't need the wheels because they come with wheels. Say wheels again.
Wheels.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I won't give it away, and you guys shouldn't either, even though you guys are both the worst at spoiling surprise. Like, Pete and Rick could both have a competition at spoiling surprises, and they would both lose. But I'm really excited about our potential Dayton Lasko install.
Wonder where that could be.
Yeah. Also unrelated to this video and whatnot, even if we're gonna long term go with the idea that I suggested with the kind of vaguely sign bulb looking thing, I think we should grab a couple vintage fixtures from here to put there for now so that it's not quite as terrible.
What's that worry?
I'll explain it after the video because if we do it, it'll be a surprise.
Yeah.
I have pictures in my phone that I can show you.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I like the idea. Rick was a little less excited than I thought he would be. When I thought of it, I was like, ooh.
We'll see. I think if it's done right, I will love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kidding? Is that a lot?
Yeah. Told you we could go for
Yeah, we could have got some snacks.
what's the old adage going for go for a quart of milk or go for cigarettes, I think is what people normally do.
Something like that.
Like when your dad walks out and never comes back, it's either a gallon of milk or a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take it this one was shortened.
Yeah, but it was like that when I got it.
Yeah.
That was installed in somebody's living room and it was like an 8-foot ceiling.
Really? In someone's living room? That's unusual.
These were marketed as in addition to being marketed as a commercial fan, they were marketed as a modern residential
Like
fan.
a contemporary of the 80s.
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess I could, yeah, kind of.
Kind of a Malaysia thing,
Yeah, that's
even though it's white.
Yeah. Well, they came in brown.
There's a very specific dongle that I always thought looked like these. It's that one where it's like a white ring with a brass like kind of thing on the bottom. If I showed you, you'd probably you'd know what I was talking about.
Well, we need one for the one that we already took from here because it doesn't have the right dongle. So that's why I was asking you about dongles.
Oh, yeah, no, I've got one. I'm sure.
I found a white bead in my garage that we can use as well, but I think it's in one of those boxes, maybe unless Pete took it.
I don't think I took that.
Here, this one.
Oh yeah, I
This
put
thing,
it.
I always
I
thought
see
that.
those.
I always thought that looked like a Dayton Lasko.
Absolutely, yeah, we could get one of those too.
Yeah.
Like it was to the point when I was really
Okay.
little, I was trying to mimic the Indiana Beach one, so I made little blades and taped it to one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, if we could get one of those would be great.
I probably have
Alright,
one.
it's finally done.
I know
so-
I gave you one like that. Okay, where do
You
you
gave
think
me
it's gonna?
like you gave me like 3. I definitely could part with one.
Where do you think it's gonna start?
I
I'm taking a shot in the dark. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna say 3.
Pete, where do you want to go?
I usually, if like 4, I don't expect it to start as low.
I don't remember where the last one started. I think it was either one of you guys' guess, which puts me in the awkward position of having to choose either 2, which I think is too low, or 5, which I think is too high. I'm gonna do a shot in the dark and say 2.
Okay. 1, 2. Nope. You said 3. Nope.
It's moving.
I think it's thinking about it.
I guessed 4. I knew it wasn't going to start low because of that heavy blades and a light motor.
True, yeah.
I don't expect it to start that low. In fact, at that grocery store in the entryway, it was a tall ceiling entryway. There was 2, one at each end of the doors.
Oh, nice.
You know,
That's pretty cool.
but I remembered, going in there, like the one going in was like going this slow. So I think it was on its way out.
Fat capacitor or
Probably.
I was little then.
yeah.
And then the other one on the other end, the out,
That one was full speed.
dead.
Oh, dead. Oh shit.
Didn't even go at all.
Do you? How many did they have in the actual store?
I couldn't count.
A lot, though.
Were some of them working properly though?
Yes. Oh yeah. In the store, yes.
Oh, then those ones, okay, yeah.
Then I remember seeing one running with an extension cord to it. An orange cord. I'm like,
Oh.
'cause
To
they
power
were-
the fan or to power something else from the fan?
No, to power the fan.
Interesting.
Because,
Stan's uncle worked there?
Yeah.
no. But here's 5.
Alright.
Well, 5 if we wanted to use a 3-speed. This
That's
We
a
could
good-
work with
yeah,
that.
That's a nice aesthetic.
a more a low.
The funny thing is I never
6.
once saw the Indiana Beach ones run.
Interesting.
Never once. No, the 2 brown ones all the time. Those were always on, but the white ones never once.
Trying to think of where else I saw them
6
and if they
would work
ran.
too. This is
6 is, yeah, that's a little more.
There was a car garage that my dad used to take his car to that had
7.
it was definitely the most Rick Tier car garage ever. It was one of those old shell stations where it's shaped like a house with a smaller house next to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
And then at the peak of the big house was a 36-inch blender.
Ooh.
And then on to the right of it was a wood housing fan, but it wasn't wood. It was like you could tell from the ground that it was
Nice.
metal,
That was fake.
fake wood.
Oh man.
And it was polished brass GE vents in the fake wood sideband, and then they had the same fan in the like little smaller area, waiting room area.
Interesting.
And the one, you can keep going, Pete.
Okay, 10 here's a perfect medium.
That is a good medium low, I
Because
think.
if you use a 3-speed, a 5 and a 10, that's going to be perfect.
Yeah, no kidding.
'Cause
Boom. And then the one in the fake
Here's
wood
the
one in the
one.
garage area, which was again, so it was asymmetrical. There's a small fan in the center, a big fan off to the side, no fan over on this side. And the fake wood one in the garage area always ran at like the slowest, lethargic, like slower than a rest, like the disco ball low.
Barely moving.
Yeah, and eventually they decided to replace it, and they replaced it with one of these. They bought new probably because this would have been in the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
13.
But they never installed the switch housing.
Oh, you told me this story.
Okay,
Yeah, it
so-
looked really funny because it's.
So basically, what I've determined
Yeah.
is this can be used on a 4-speed.
Yeah,
Is
I think we
so it's a
determined that
5,
last
10,
video.
5, 10, 15?
This is 13.
Oh, that's 13. Okay.
Yeah, 5, 8, and
5
13.
and 8. Yeah, 5 and 8 would work.
Yeah, 5, 8, and then this is 13.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, you could do 4-speed.
Yep. Because I still got a ways to go for high.
Yeah.
Here's 14. 15. 16. I know I thought I go over.
I don't remember. I thought maybe you didn't, but let's see when we get to, and
Okay,
they might be
we're
different too.
Close to high. Here's 17. That's like right there with high.
Oh, that's right. This one had a lower high than the other one.
Yeah. Then here is 18. Does it drop or no? It starts to go over. I'm just gonna quickly go to 20 just to see if it. Yeah.
Hit the high switch. So it's quite a bit over. Okay.
Yep. I thought so.
You were right. I thought maybe the last one we could have. I don't know. They're all okay. No 8, 12, 20, but you could use any other
No.
control.
Right.
It's like one blade's a little.
It was like
Was it
bent a little bit.
Yeah.
The rest of the blade was fine, just that one
There's
part,
one that's a
one
little
little
wetter. The
section.
rest are about right.
We also guessed on which blades went in sets, so our guess could theoretically be wrong.
Sure. That's probably one of the cleanest Dayton Laskos I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
I don't think you're wrong.
Because I mean, usually at least they're a little yellow. Or
Yeah, like the one that's in the organ shop is a little. It's uniform.
that one's average, I think.
It's uniform. It's not like this one where there's part of it that's really yellow and part of it that's
Right.
a solid state.
Yes, we're still gonna do solid state on this.
That's gonna
The last one was surprisingly not as bad as we were expecting, but still not great.
I'm gonna say living room quiet.
That's what the last one was. I'm gonna go with noisy.
I'll give it a chance with bedroom. I'm not gonna say silent though.
No.
No. There's a place I sometimes get oil changes. It's got 3 of the small ones, all on a solid state control.
Oh, you know, actually, I forgot. There's one other place that has one. Bolo, actually, in one of the shops they have one of these. I think it's a small one though. If I remember right.
Where?
Bolo.
Oh, Volo.
Yeah. Blender fans. Yeah. I don't hear anything. Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly quiet.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
I know. Just goes to show you never know. Sometimes these are loud. We've definitely tested ones before that have been loud. Finally hearing it.
I mean, bedroom.
That's a shocker right there.
I mean, the crickets are
Very.
making more noise than that is.
I know. I mean,
That's why I
granted,
turned off the rest of the fans.
yeah. Granted, this is probably not the best place to gauge loudness when we're now, 15 feet away from it instead of 5 or whatever we were, but it's very impressive. I mean, a good gauge of there's two determining factors if you're trying to gauge whether a fan is safe to use in a solid state control. One is it drawing more current than it should, and the other is it making more noise than it should. And so I would argue that this one might actually be okay to use on a solid state control.
Yeah. And it's drawing pretty much the same
It's
current.
drawing the same.
Or very close.
You guys know we put some fans on a test track and drew more with the solid state. SMCs are famous for that.
Oh,
those
A52s.
early SMCs do that.
That
Yeah.
is so weird.
That's bizarre. I've never.
Didn't understand why that was.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well, our final test is 0 to high. Rick, how do you think it's going to do on 0 to high?
On 0 to high, I think it's gonna be these giant blades or these heavy blades. I'm gonna say big inrush.
Pete, how big do you think the inrush is going to be?
I think
On high, it was 0.77. So why don't you guess the number you think it'll go up to?
it's gonna go up to like 0.82.
Okay. I'm going to go with $1, Bob. No, I'm going to do, he said 0.82. I'm going to go, I'll go 0.83.
Okay.
Come on, 0.83. Hey, I got it.
Oh,
0.84.
more than I thought.
I know.
That was close.
Rick also got it because he said big inrush.
I don't know. I've never tested one of these.
Yeah, that's why Pete and I guessed how much of an inrush rather than whether or not it was big because we just did one and it was big. Okay, well we're gonna test some more Dayton Laskos.
This one's a really solid performer.
We should make a note of that. Well, I guess it's easy. The one with the upside down
Yeah,
canopy
the canopy's
is a beast. Okay, stand by for more cool fan testing. Thanks for watching. As always, this video has a sponsor, and that sponsor is FanStick. Buy FanStick.
By Fan Stick.